Hello, welcome again to our channel. We want to proceed where we ended at expressing the equation for the total travel time for the reflected seismic waves on the interface, and we ended up writing an expression for the total travel time as t squared is equal to x over v squared plus 2h over v squared. We ended at this equation. Um, does it make sense logically to you? How do you remember this formula? Okay, let me help you to remember this formula. What happens when seismic waves travels from the surface, from the source on the surface, when they travel downward, and all the way when they are reflected on the interface and to be detected on the surface at the geophone? I want to help you remember this formula. This is like a net, like the total, and of course it is exactly the total traveled time. But remember, these seismic signals on traveling this way and strike on the boundary and get reflected back to the surface, they travel two directions, both vertical and horizontal. For the horizontal, it covers one way. It moves this direction, but for vertical, it moves downward and up again, of course. And therefore, for the horizontal distance, it will have covered only this x, horizontal distance. But for vertical distance, it will have covered, if the thickness of the layer is h, then these signals travels vertically twice. I mean, from the source of on the surface, they travel downward the distance, h, and they return back to the surface, covering another distance h, and therefore the total distance can be 2h. The total vertical distance is 2h, and they cover the distance x. So if you want to get the net time, or the total travel time will be the same as the travel time squared will be the same as time along x squared plus the time along y squared, which is the time along x. The time along x is x over v, of course, that squared. And the time traveled along y, I mean vertically, it has covered the distance h and another h, 2h. Therefore, it is 2h over velocity. If you squared this one, again, you will have reconstructed the equation for the total travel time of the reflected waves. That's how you can remember this equation. So follow this series to see what important parameters we can extract from the total travel time of the reflected waves. Thanks. Just subscribe this channel and welcome again.